Today we are going to start our topic about market equilibrium. We studied the two market forces, demand and supply, their movements along the curves and how are they going to shift either rightward or leftward. So today we are going to see when both the market forces are interacting with each other, what happens in the marketplace. Okay, so equilibrium means what? A stable point where two opposite forces balance with each other. Equilibrium means a stable point. What it is? A stable point where two opposite forces balance with each other. This is the definition of equilibrium. Like if anything is stable, like this table is in a stable condition or the chairs are in stable condition because the two forces, they are balanced with each other. What are the two forces? One thing, that is the gravitational force which is going towards gravity, and another is which is keeping it up. So when both the forces which are in opposite direction, they are balanced with each other, we say a product or a thing is in equilibrium or in a stable form. Follow my points or not? So we see this thing that the market equilibrium is that point where the opposite forces, they will balance with each other, and then we see when they are balanced, we find this is an equilibrium point. So in case of market forces, what are those market forces? They are demand and supply. Here I am now taking the quantity demanded and supplied, and here is the price of the product. We studied this is the demand curve and this is what? The supply curve. So what is the market equilibrium definition? Market equilibrium is also a stable point where two market forces, they will balance with each other. Okay, and there is no tendency to change. So market equilibrium is also a stable point where two opposite market forces of demand and supply, they will balance with each other. That is called what? That is called what? The market equilibrium. So this is the consumer force demand, this is the producer force supply. So in this case we see over here that the two forces, they are balancing with each other at one point of intersection. The intersection point of the demand and supply will tell us that this is the market equilibrium point, and it means whatever the quantity is demanded by the consumers, it is supplied by the producers or sellers at this price. So at this equilibrium point, what is going to happen? This is the equilibrium quantity and this is going to be the equilibrium price. So whatever quantity is demanded by the consumers, it is supplied by the sellers or producers at this point. So the quantity demanded and supplied, they are balanced with each other. Clear? So when market forces are clear, we say the market is in a stable condition and it is in equilibrium. The two opposite market forces, they are balanced, and we see this thing that they are cleared with each other. Clear? Now we are going to see how can we justify that this is the stable point, and why not any other point other than this equilibrium is said to be not a stable point, or this is called the disequilibrium. So we see at equilibrium the two forces are balanced. When two forces are unbalanced, So that point is called what? A disequilibrium point, and that is unstable point. Okay. So we see over here the stability. This is what the disequilibrium. Disequilibrium when two opposite forces, when two opposite markets, when two opposite market forces are unbalanced. So it is unstable or disequilibrium point. Yani disequilibrium point. Alright. So whatever is demanded, it is not supplied by the sellers. Either it is oversupplied or undersupplied. But there are two conditions of disequilibrium. One is called surplus, another is called what? The shortage. So either we find a market surplus or we find the market shortage whenever there is going to be market disequilibrium. Okay. Now we want to see how can we find a surplus in the market. How can we see a surplus in the market? Look here. Okay. When the market price is above the equilibrium price, this is the market price now, which is above the equilibrium price. So can we see over here? This is going to be the quantity demanded at this high price. Consumers are demanding less when price level is at P1, which is above the market equilibrium price. So what happens? The sellers aim is to have more supply, because when prices are increasing, the seller's motivation is that he wants to sell as much as he has. Whereas consumers, they want to buy less of the goods which are present at higher prices. So here we see the quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded. So this area is called a surplus. But this is a sign of inequality, which shows us a disequilibrium condition, that there is a surplus in the market. The market suppliers, the producers, they are supplying more than demand. So when they are supplying more than demand, what happens? So we see this thing, there is a surplus in the market. Okay? So when there is a surplus, what happens? It will put pressure on the market price to go down. When something is available in large quantities and sellers are unable to sell them at this high price, they will attract the buyers by decreasing the prices. So when there is a surplus, the sellers are offering lower prices. As a result, consumers are going to increase the quantity demanded. Whereas when price level is decreasing, what happens? Sellers are decreasing their quantity supply. Again, they will reach to the point where whatever is demanded, it is supplied at this equilibrium price. So when there is a surplus in the market, it will put pressure on the market prices to go down. And when prices are falling, the consumers are going to increase their quantity demand along their demand curve, and producers are decreasing their quantity supplied along their supply curves. Therefore, at equilibrium, this market surplus is removed. This market surplus is removed. So again we find balanced condition or equilibrium condition, and equilibrium is that whatever is demanded it is supplied. Clear? Now come towards the other market disequilibrium. So it means any price which is above equilibrium, that is unstable, or this is called, we find a disequilibrium where demand and supply quantities are unbalanced. So what is the other condition of market disequilibrium? This is the case when market price is below the equilibrium price. Here the quantity demanded and supplied. This is the demand curve. This is the supply curve. So if price is here below the equilibrium, now at this lower price, for example, now the price of Coca-Cola or price of Pepsi Cola is 30 rupees per bottle. So if it goes to 10 rupees per bottle, so what happens? Consumers will demand too much. This is the demand by the consumers at this lower price. But the sellers of those cold beverages, they are ready to supply only this quantity. At lower prices, the producer's profits or the seller's profit will decrease. So they are not ready to supply too much of quantity in the market. Rather, they will be supplying only less number of quantity. Whereas consumers are going to buy more quantity. So can I find over here the quantity demand is greater than quantity supply? Quantity demand is greater than quantity supplied. So there is going to be the shortage. What it is? There is going to be the shortage in the market. So this shortage is what? Due to shortage, we see the prices will increase. And when prices are increasing, the consumers will decrease their quantity demand, and this increase in price will encourage the suppliers to increase their quantity supply. And again at equilibrium point, we find a stability. What we find? A stability. So we checked one thing, whether this equilibrium point is stable or unstable. So we found two disequilibria. What are those? When price is away from equilibrium, either it is above equilibrium or below equilibrium. The two market forces will be unbalanced. And when they are unbalanced in the situation, so what happens? There will be a disequilibrium, and that disequilibrium will cause the market price to move towards equilibrium. In case of surplus, the market price will be pulled downward. Okay? When prices are pulled downward, at equilibrium we don't find any surplus. And in case of shortage, the market price will be pushed upward. So at equilibrium there is neither surplus nor any shortage. Whatever quantities are demanded by the consumers, they are supplied by the producers or sellers. So market equilibrium is a stable point where two opposite market forces of any product, they balance with each other, and there is no tendency to change. And this equilibrium point will change due to the non-price factors. What are those non-price factors? We studied both for demand and supply. The non-price factor for demand is the income, weather, prices of other goods, taste and fashion. They will cause a shift in the demand curve, either upward or downward. The equilibrium point will also change. And the non-price factors for the supply, they will also change the supply curve either rightward or leftward. Then there will be the change in market equilibrium. So today we only study what is meant by market equilibrium and whether this is a stable point or unstable, and we analyze two things. a disequilibrium condition of surplus and shortage. And tomorrow we will change this equilibrium point by changing the demand and supply.